Hey everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today I'm going to be talking about the Super Nintendo Classic. So when I found out they were making a SNES or SNES Classic, I was actually pretty excited because I'm a kid who grew up on the Super Nintendo and not the Nintendo. The Super Nintendo was my first console, and to this day, it's actually still my very favorite console. So the fact that they're bringing it back with a ton of amazing games is fantastic. The list of games is like amazing. They've got everything on here. And the reason I like it is there's a few games that I don't have that are coming out for the SNES Classic, and for that reason, I feel like for the price point, it actually might be worth it to pick one up to get games like I don't have Super Metroid, I don't have Secret of Mana, so right there I'm excited. I don't actually have Super Mario Kart. I know that seems weird, but I actually do not have it. So there are a few games in there that I don't have. Really cool that they're releasing Star Fox 2, kind of a neat thing, more incentive to buy it, I guess. Long story short, this is great. There's tons of games. The only thing I wanted to talk about was, as much as I think the list is fantastic, I mean, you've got Final Fantasy 3, 6 on here, Earthbound. These are pricey games. Like, if you want to buy Earthbound, the cart, I mean, that's like $300. You can get it on the Wii U. Let's not talk about that. The amount of awesome games on here, it's great. And again, like, I never grew up on Kirby. I don't know why you'd think that I would have totally rented Kirby. Never got into Kirby, but they've got 2 Kirby games on here that I'm really excited to check out. There's Super Metroid. I don't have that, so I'm really excited to actually play Super Metroid and maybe play it this way. There are 3 games, in my opinion, maybe a few more, but 3 key ones that I feel maybe could have made the list. I mean, it's 21 classic Super Nintendo games, but maybe we could have made it 24, 25? First of all, everyone's saying this. I don't know why it's not on here. There must be some kind of licensing issue, because it just seems bonkers to me. But where is Chrono Trigger? Chrono Trigger should be on here, like, hands down. I don't know why. It's the epitome of amazing Golden Age Super Nintendo JRPGs. It's all of that, so it's kind of weird. It's been ported to, like, everything, but I just feel like its original system was for the Super Nintendo. You'd think they would have put it on here. The second game that I think should be on the Super Nintendo Classic is Harvest Moon. I don't own Harvest Moon. That's kind of where Harvest Moon began. Very, very classic franchise. I mean, Jesus, there's so many Harvest Moon games now, and other types of games like it, and it's even inspired other games like Farm Simulator, Farmville, all sorts of things. It's just a classic game, so I'm kind of shocked that Harvest Moon didn't make it, because to me it's one of the most famous Super Nintendo games, and it's not cheap either. I've seen reproduction carts for like $20-30, which is really great, but to actually buy the original cartridge, it is not cheap. The third game you could put on here, and it's a maybe. You don't have to, but I feel like, why not? I mean, you already have Final Fantasy 3, why not Final Fantasy 2, aka 4? I just feel like if you're going to throw them on there, I know that, Final Fantasy 3 is the famous one, and everybody loves it, and it's like the best of all time, but Final Fantasy 4 is equally as famous and well-known, and came before 6, kind of paving the way, so sorry, I'm using 4 and 6 and 2 and 3, you get it. It seems kind of like, well, why not? The only other game that I think maybe could have been on here is Donkey Kong Country 2, but we have Donkey Kong Country, and as much as everybody wants to say that Donkey Kong Country 2 is the best game of the franchise, Donkey Kong Country is kind of the game that started it all, so I kind of feel like it just having Donkey Kong Country on there is sort of good enough. I mean, I have a Super Nintendo, I own all these games, and I don't care for stuff like that, but it could have been on there, I guess. I really like Donkey Kong Country 3, so this is exciting news. The Super Nintendo Classic, I'm really excited. 2 controllers it comes with, 5 feet in length. Wow! It just sounds really awesome. I'm really excited, and I think the price point in Canadian is $100. It'll probably be like 80 American, something like that. Probably around a $20 difference. $100 for all these games. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna fangirl a bit, but the most adorable little Super Nintendo ever. I mean, that picture of it in the hand, I want that. I want it almost as a decorative piece. Sorry, I'm sorry. This is gonna be awesome. I'm really excited. The only thing is, Nintendo, are you listening? Please make enough of these. This is not okay. What they did with the NES Classic is really awful, and I think that was just a poor decision on their part. The amount of money I think that they lost for that is terrible, because again, you get all these people buying them up, selling them for like, twice, 3 times the price, and then people really just lose out. I feel like everyone loses except the scalpers. So just make enough. Also, I'm not trying, well, I am kind of saying the Super Nintendo is a better system, because screw it, but the amount of amazing games on here, and I'm not naming them all, it's just phenomenal. Like, it's phenomenal. Like, it's like hit after hit after hit after hit. Like all the most famous games are like for $100. It's nothing. So I really hope that they make enough, because I don't believe it's out for pre-order here yet. I know certain countries it is. I may get a pre-order. If not, I almost might kind of just see how it goes. If I'm going to maybe trust Nintendo and think like, okay, they realized they screwed up with the last one. Maybe they'll make enough this time. That would really be smart on their part. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the Super Nintendo Classic. I'm actually really excited because I love this console. It's, very near and dear to me. I would love to see other people get one, and to be honest, a lot of people want a Super Nintendo, and they want the Super Nintendo for these games. So if you're not hardcore and you don't need to own all the cartridges and all that stuff, quite honestly, this is an amazing deal, because it's only missing a few things like we discussed, but besides the stuff it's missing, you can't really get a lot better than this. I mean, play Chrono Trigger on the DS. Like, I don't know, whatever. I just feel like this is amazing, the list. Like, I'm looking at it, like, Super Mario RPG is on here. Like, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Like, it kind of keeps going and going. Like, I'm just looking at all these games like, oh my god, wow, awesome, amazing, awesome. So, yeah. I will see you guys later, and fingers crossed that they make enough of these.